At the time that you started recording these songs, had you get applied for clemency, and B, did you know that there was a chance of you getting out, or you just and if not, as you were recording these songs, what was your future plans? Were you going to just continue recording from behind bars and put them out? Like, what was the situation?
In April 23rd of 2000, I'll never forget the day I got an email from my lawyer, Steven Zeidman. He sent me an email on April 23rd in 2022. I was like, wow, this is, wow, we might, get some clemency. It was, it was just one of the things, it's worth a try. Fast forward to 23, I was recording, but I didn't really, feel like, I didn't know what was gonna happen with that. You know what I mean? So it was just something that I was doing. It just kind of happened that way. Like, I just started, we started recording a little more, consistently. So you figure we put out our first release in 2023. It was like in May 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And then like over the course of the year, we started, getting, feedback on the clemency. They started telling us, yo, look, they started asking us more questions like, yo, so what happened with this? And so we was like, wow, maybe they, we started thinking that, this clemency might happen. You know what I mean? But it's still, we still didn't have the audacity to, think that we were gonna record the album and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna record the album because when you come home, it'll be good that you had the album out. Like we wasn't even thinking like that. Like, you know what I mean? We were just thinking like, yo, it's time for you to put something out. We got music. This will be great. We wrap up an album, just put it out. You know what I mean? And then you'll be home. You go to parole next year. We were talking about 2025. You go to parole, and at least you could say, yo, I put an album out while I was incarcerated. That's how we were really looking at that. When we did get the clemency in 2020, the end of 2023, it was like a plus. Like we was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? We was like, so let's just finish up this album. Even then, the clemency that they gave me, it still wasn't a guarantee that I was that I was getting out, because they gave me, they commuted the sentence, but I still had to go to to the parole board. So, so we were still just like, yo, look, it's just great to put the album out. We don't know, and then, so then we just started thinking like that, like, yo, wow, that would be great. You put the album out, and then when if you get out, in a couple of months, you could just hit the ground running, stuff like that, that. So it wasn't really, like I said, it wasn't anything that we knew was going to happen. We had faith that, whatever happened, we were going to be all right. And then, sooner or later, I would, get out by the grace of the Creator. But, it did.
Well, so the timing just happened to line up. With all that stuff.
Yeah, it just lined up, where to where we was like, wow, we just put the album out, and then, we're not going to, if you do get granted clemency, so that's what we told ourselves, like, if you do get granted clemency, we're not going to put any more music out over the phone. We'll just let the stuff that we got out marinate, and that'll be that. You'll be home in a couple of months after that, because they had me set to come home in July if I got the clemency granted. But I also had got this this time cut, because I had, you get this thing called the LCTA. They have like two different ways you can get it. You can get it by being in this program called IPA, to where you like a teacher's aide or something like that. You can do that for 6 months, and then they take off, or you can just do it and they take off just some time. Or you could get credits from college. If you got more than 25 credits and you've been in college more than 2 years, you could get it. So I got it because of that. So that took 6 months off of my time. So when they gave me the clemency, that put me in July. But the LCTA thing put me in January.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So so I basically had a date that I was passed by the time I went to parole. By the time I went to parole, it was March, and my date was actually in January of 2024. January 15th, 2024 was when I was set to be released, which was like just ill. So when I pointed that out to my lawyer, he was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, you know, if they do grant you clemency, you're kind of basically, if they do grant you parole, you're out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're supposed to have been out of here. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. When they granted me the parole, they was like, "Yo, you don't have to wait until July." You know what I mean? So they was like, they basically gave me 30 days. Only reason they gave me 30 days after the parole hearing, after the parole decision, was for them to find my housing and all of that. So, and then they sped it up even more. They was like, "Yo, look, we found this housing." You know what I mean? Like, so you don't even have to wait the 30 days. You know what I mean? So they was like, that's why they gave me the date of the 4th. It was like I got the decision probably on the 29th or something like that of January of March. When I got the decision on the 29th of March, they said that I'll be going home on the 29th of April. And then the next week, April 2nd, they called me down to the office and said, "Yo, sign out." I was like, "Sign out?"
No warning, that's it.
So what happened to the 29th? I said, I gotta arrange this. This is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta finish college. I gotta arrange my re-entry. I want to, make sure. It was like, "Look, man, you're going home in 2 days. So whatever you gotta do it in 2 days, man." So they said, they made me sign the papers. They said it was signed here. They said it was a Tuesday. They said, "You're going home on Thursday." So I don't know if I was, after being locked up 13 years, you got all type of property stuff that so I was just giving stuff away, mad quick, mad fast. And, I had to, I couldn't even really, believe, it was just so amazing. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how that happened. That's how I, just, like that. Like, I didn't even know I was coming home, you know what I mean? And I just wound up, just coming home.
That's wild.